Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is March 19th, and I'm running a little late because I had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning that I had to do, but I really wanted to get this one out here. Today is a very important day in the astrology. Let's do a little history lesson first. On March 19th of 1861, there was a Sun-Neptune conjunction at 29 degrees of Pisces. We have that same conjunction happening today. That was the last time that happened, and this is the next time. So this will be the last time this conjunction happens in Pisces at all, but at the last anaretic degree of Pisces ever in our lifetimes as well. Now, back then in 1861, the moon was in Gemini, and it made a square to this conjunction from Gemini. Now, on that day in 1861, the Confederate States that had formed their own little government and everything, made their own constitution and all, took an official vote as to whether or not they were going to secede from the Union, and it overwhelmingly failed. It was like an 89-1 vote. So the Confederate States of America, as its own standalone government, never actually fully seceded from the Union. Random states did here and there, but as a whole, they just declared themselves sovereign. Today, however, we have that same conjunction happening at that 29th degree of Pisces, and the moon in Scorpio is going to make a trine to that. That is a wide open door to something that is likely to be kind of devastating, intense, transformative, but not so much in a great way. It feels a little more in a destructive way that to the people. That square in the moon in Gemini in 1861 really shows that kind of wishy-washy conflict, things not going as you thought it would energy. But this wide open trine and that Scorpio influence, little different. Today kind of feels a little more of an umph, okay? It could be a rough day. Number one, your energy is probably going to be zapped. Like on a personal level, you're going to have a difficult time just with energy levels. Intuition could be really high, but so can fogginess and just not being able to see things clearly. You add into that the Mercury retrograde, things just are not clear right now at all, okay? Now, collectively, this is where I think things are going to be big. So Neptune dissolves things. The sun is vitality, which is why you might feel exhausted today. But the sun also represents important people. It's whoever sits at the top of at the end of the table type of energy, whether that's a father, a CEO, a mayor, governor, president, so on and so forth. Now, there could be a lot of loss. This is 100% ending something. Pisces is that last sign of the zodiac, and this is the last degree of the zodiac. But with that being said, in reference to Orange Man, this is happening in his 8th house, which, yes, is the house of death. However, it is also the house of other people's money, loans, and things of that nature, the resources that you're receiving from another person. And it's happening in an inconjunct to his ascendant, which is the physical body, it's the physical self, it's your personal actions, the way that you approach things. And he is a Leo rising, so he's ruled by the sun. There's a few ways that, just kind of stepping back from it, looking at it, we could see something along the lines of his mental decline being put on full display. Saturn will actually be it moved into his 8th house just like overnight last night. So there's some lessons about 8th house topics that are coming in here, especially about being shady when it comes to 8th house topics because of that Saturn being in Pisces. Uranus is just about to make an exact conjunction to his midheaven, so there's going to be some surprises here. Natally, he has a Sun-Uranus conjunction in Gemini in his 10th house. That's why he's always popping off with weird stuff that doesn't make any sense. So we could see something along the lines of his mental health being put on full display. His, whether he's got dementia or something of that nature. But my gut feeling and what I'm looking at when I look at how it's fully affecting his chart, I think this has more to do with money. Who is paying him, who he's paying, where he's receiving benefits from for agreements and contracts that he's signed or verbal agreements that he's made. Something along that line is likely to come out today, I think. And the thing about that is almost immediately when the moon moves into Sagittarius, we're going to get hit with that Jupiter and Gemini where everything is all over the place. The information is everywhere. Everything contradicts each other. Anything to confuse. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through the day and particularly into this afternoon. But it's going to be an interesting one. These 2 weeks between the eclipses, they always get weird, and this one's going to be a little extra weird. So just keep that in mind. Again, I don't think that we're going to see, and I'll keep saying this, I don't think we're going to see anything like really pop off till like mid-April, okay? But there's going to be a lot of other stuff happening in the in-between till that'll like be building up till we get to that mid-April moment, okay? It's just, historically, this is an important day. So I expect it to be an important day today, especially because it is making that direct aspect to the president. So we'll see how that goes, okay? But on a personal level, it can be very emotional. You can feel like you're kind of all over the place. If you're struggling with your emotions and stuff, allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to be scared. Moon in Scorpio can really bring up some fears as well. So take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and just kind of slow down. We need to make sure we're not being reactive right now and we're really processing everything, because that Jupiter and Gemini that will be activated as soon as the moon moves into Sagittarius around 2:30-ish this afternoon Mountain Time, it's going to put a lot of confusion in our heads, okay? But that 29 degrees of Pisces is an ending. We start fresh tomorrow. Take care of yourself today. So let's pull you guys some cards. What is the energy for the collective today? We have Wheel of Fortune. That this is something in so that the wheel can move forward, right? So it's like you feel like something is coming, something is changing. Remember, we do still have those two personal planets that are retrograde, Mercury and Venus. So make sure that you're not jumping the gun too awful much here. But there's definitely this energy that change is around the corner. Things are coming around. You're going to see some changes here in the future. I actually got this for my energy today as well. So there is an energy of change coming. Change is not always pretty, but when it's the Wheel of Fortune here, or Wheel of the Year in this deck, it's oftentimes beneficial even when it's not pretty, okay? What to focus on? What should the collective... Oh, we got too many here. Try again. What should the collective focus on? Just insistent on throwing whole handfuls. What should the collective focus on today? There we go. 5 of Wands. Didn't we have this yesterday? I feel like this was the same card as yesterday. Where are people fighting back against your boundaries? Where are you finding those little bickering fights type of things? Where are people being like competitive with you when they don't need to be competitive with you? Same thing. Just really pay attention to who's not okay with your boundaries here, okay? What to avoid today? Yeah, and really, boundaries are super important right now, quite honestly. If you're feeling incredibly emotional, you're allowed to have those boundaries. Make sure that you're definitely exercising those boundaries, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You got to take time for yourself, okay? And people will take advantage of vulnerable things, okay? What to avoid? What to avoid? Temperance. Okay. A lot of us here in the spiritual community have a tendency to get addicted to healing, okay? Sometimes you just got to take the day to be in that day, be in that energy. If it's difficult, if it's emotional, if it is, there could be a lot of like thinking about the past type of energy. You're allowed to be upset. Upsetting things are upsetting, and you're allowed to be upset over upsetting things, and you're allowed to spend a day in that upset, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Don't worry about trying to fix everything as soon as it comes up. Allow yourself to sit with it for a minute. Deal with it later. You can do that transformation, that transmutation of temperance later, right? But you got to feel the stuff now to really kind of understand it later. So, again, you got people fighting back against you. It always gives me negging energy with the Five of Wands. Just this little petty bickering type of things happening, okay? Death on the bottom of the deck. So the transformation, those endings, that we're ending a season, we begin a new season tomorrow. Things are changing. We all know things are changing. And it's just a day to kind of sit with that and come to grips with that, okay? Wheel of Fortune clarifiers. For our Wheel of Fortune, we have 9 of Pentacles and one more. 3 of Pentacles. Ooh. So, this is giving me work. What do you do for a living? What does your work situation look like? What are you comfortable where you're at? Are you actually thriving there? Are you where you're supposed to be? Something in today could really have you kind of questioning, are you in the right place? Are you where you need to be for the wheel to turn? Where's this wheel turning to, right? So this really could have a lot to do with work, your job. This is where this bickering could be coming from. So think about that today. Again, Uranus being in Taurus, ruling that Venus retrograde. A lot of us are rethinking what does comfort and abundance and things like that look like. So you really might be feeling that today as you go through the day. Are you comfortable? Are you where you want to be? Are you in a place that lights you up? Like that drain today could be from work being kind of overly over the top right now. But yeah, think about that. How is your sense of abundance moving forward? Where do you want to be when we get to the other side of these retrogrades and everything starts to change? Okay. Clarifiers for the 5 of Wands. We have the Sun and 2 of Cups. That was a 10 of Cups too. So the Sun and 2 of Cups. It's a lot of ego. This is like bickering between, 2 of Cups isn't necessarily romantic. Sometimes it's just friendships. It's just the people that you deal with on a regular basis. But it's like these are ego-based arguments that are like getting in between people. This could have a lot to do with relationships as well, quite honestly, with that Venus retrograde. But where are these interactions with others holding you back, keeping you from your shine, right? Are they okay? Venus is actually exalted by Pisces, and with Venus retrograde in Aries and this Pisces Neptune Sun conjunction, you could actually be seeing where like other people are dulling your shine, where they are, like I said, it's dissolving, right? So you might be seeing where other people are keeping you away from being able to stand out. They're keeping you away from being able to move forward. It's other people that are draining your energy, right? Pay attention to that. Who around you is draining your energy? Are they draining your energy because they always got to bicker with you? We all know those people. I don't know how many times I've had people around me that No matter what I say, they gotta bicker, right? It's fun to them. They think it's funny, right? So where are other people draining your energy and keeping you from being able to live your life the way you are? Really pay attention to that. And it's probably going to show up in these little arguments, these little fights, okay? Clarifiers for Temperance. We have a 2 of Wands. And Shadow Side. Okay. So this is the Devil in the traditional deck. It's almost like out of the frying pan into the fire, I think is what I'm hearing here, right? Like if you're over here trying to do this transformation work under this really foggy Piscean, Neptunian energy, whatever decision it is that you try to make to move forward, you're going to go right into the darkness, right? So you don't want to take that step forward just yet. You want to take some time to process things. Again, we want to wait until everything is direct and moving forward before we really make too many decisions and start really moving forward. Energy will start picking up a little bit tomorrow. So really, today, just observe. Don't try to do too much. Take care of yourself. Things could be intense. They could be emotional. You could be seeing people for who they really are, and that may be hurtful. But remember, it's closing out a cycle, and we got to let those cycles close out so that we can move forward into the next one.